Greetings. Been a while. So, focus. Camera. There. Stay focused. Stay focused. I wanted to make a video and sort of address the sudden drop off of let's see here. There we go. Sudden drop off of content related to Scientology. I know that that's most of you guys and gals originally subscribed for information about my experience in Scientology. And in the last year, after a series of a bunch of what some would call unfortunate events, I took a break from talking about it, did more focus more on inner development and recovering from not just Scientology but from general abusive type stuff. Now, when I say abuse, that's that's been I'll just say this, I've changed the way I look at things. When you change the way you look at things you look at change. So there's been some changes in the way that I look at things. Number one, I took all of my Scientology content and put it aside for a little while, and I posted it in a place where people who were in a similar situation that I was, looking for information of ex-members and their experience, which helped me to get the courage to talk about my experience. Posted that in a location online where many ex-Scientologists will go, and kind of made it an exclusive resource for them. And I pulled it from my YouTube channel. Not only was I experiencing like surveillance and stuff like that, and PIs following me, but during that time as well, there was a lot of family, what I call it, domestic disputes and stuff like that. Nothing related to my kids or my ex-wife, mostly related to my stepfather and my mother, and the things that I experienced, the medical problems that I had, the mental health problems that I had, that I had gotten diagnosed with. It got to a point to where people were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Not I wouldn't say in a negative way, but people were concerned. Chris Shelton called me out of concern. I believe he thinks I was suicidal. I was not. The truth is that there was some violent behavior going on in the family, and I don't like bullies, and I'm not in prison, so that's good. Some people get away with stuff. Scientology gets away with a lot of stuff, and so do people. It's not just Scientology. It's every other religion too. I'm not saying all religions are bad. In fact, a big part of me healing has been reading and meditating and figuring out what is my truth, reconnecting with myself. And that is still happening, but I feel like I needed to sort of like cocoon up for a little while. I know there's been some people like click to unsubscribe, and that's fine. Like I've said from the beginning, I'm not doing this for subscribers. I'm doing it for a record for people. So, I mean, I would ask if I should republish and make all that information available again on this channel, and just create a new channel for all of the things after. So, because there's a lot going on. I'd love to teach you guitar. I also, and that's one thing, but there's a lot of cool things going on musically with the studio, and a lot of really amazing things are happening as we speak. So I wanted to sort of open up a discussion again. And if there's anything that some of the subscribers want to know, feel free to ask. I'm in a much better place to sort of reflect without being triggered and stuff like that. I did have some experiences that I'll put it to you this way. When there's something in your life that you don't want, or there's something that you think is obsessing, it's infesting your thoughts constantly in a negative way, like for instance Scientology and all the things that happen to the people in it, and then also being part of a community of ex-Scientologists that still may have these same thoughts and ways of thinking that are still very much like Scientology. I found it, me personally, my own experience, I found it incredibly difficult to let go and move on while being a part of some of these communities that are so, I mean, rightfully so, I suppose that you could say that it's a good thing to bang the drum against Scientology. But, truth be told, the nuns used to beat me with rulers and slap me on the legs and make you pee your pants in class and all sorts of horrible things. I was in Catholic school. I never made a video about that. Or the Baptist retreats that I went to, where some of the pastors seem to have been singling out young women, separating the boys from the girls, and overnight sleepovers and stuff, and God knows what went on there. There's a quote that I saw recently. All these people, something to the effect of, all these people looking to find God, they need to get outside of the church, and they'll find him. And I couldn't agree more. I've gone back and forth. Like you can change, just like that. You can change. You can buy into stuff. And for a long time, I bought into the idea that I was given and told that I wasn't good enough or talented enough or smart enough, and nothing was good enough. Of course, all that's not true. And if anyone ever tells you that, I would suggest you don't buy into it. Because ultimately, we are choice-making machines. Now, this is a sticky subject for some exes. If you're an ex and you're watching this might trigger you a little bit, because you might think that I'm talking about responsibility or some ethics technology. But this is not that. This is just, think of a time before Scientology. And also with the experience that you had in Scientology, and make a decision for yourself whether or not what I'm about to say is true. But we're choice-making machines. Some of the study and reading that I did, and meditation that I did to help calm myself down, and keep myself from reacting to these triggers that were in my environment constantly, are mostly, a big one is your thoughts. You are what you think. So be very careful what you think about. I've had a lot of good teachers, and that is a common thread. And when I say I've had teachers, I don't necessarily mean that I've met them, but anyone that I've made any kind of conscious contact with through any form of books or media or anything like that. So you are what you think. That's a Buddhist thing, and it's true. The only thing you really can control is what's going on in here. I mean, you may feel like you can't control that. There was indeed a time where I felt I couldn't. But with a little time and some focus and some reflections, sometimes a lot of reflection, I found personally that I can change that. And I believe that everyone can. You can change the way that you think about things, and you'll change everything. So back to the potentially triggering statement that we're choice-making machines. You could easily make that jump to intention is cause, and we are cause, and that everything that manifests in your life is of your own doing, including all the negative stuff. And that gets into that whole, and you can jump from there to pulling things in. But that's not really what I'm saying, and that's not what my teachers have said. So what it amounts to is your choice-making machine. You can make choices for yourself. You can make a choice to think a certain way about something. Like, for instance, my stepfather, on the way to the airport in the car with my kids, made a very racist comment. Now, back in October, he was doing other things that were threatening to some other family members, not my children, but someone else's children. And it triggered me very much. And I threatened his life. And where I was just on the edge of sanity. And my therapist had me committed. So that was, and after she had me committed, I went back to see her, which was a difficult decision to make because I was kind of upset with her because, you know, I got cuffed and everything and sent to a facility with a bunch of crazy people. Most of the people there were not crazy. When they tell their stories, it's like, you know, they bought into this idea that they were crazy. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So all that you are, you know, is in your thoughts. You know, you perceive the universe through your visual cortex and all your senses, but like where is it that you have control over someone else and their thoughts and this whole brainwashing thing? You have to buy into it. And for me, it was easy to buy into Scientology because I'd already bought into the idea that I was inferior in some way, you know, that I was missing something, some integral part that would fix me because I was broken. I bought into that idea. And that idea was not really mine, you know. It was presented to me over and over many years. And eventually I bought into it. And I bought into it for a number of years. And I don't buy it anymore. Now, where I'm at now is not the most ideal, but it's actually quite good. The most ideal would be closer to my kids. But the good news is that through all of that suffering that I experienced in my mind, and the physical stuff that I went through, I still came out with. I still came out in the legal system and in my own mind, because fuck the legal system. Seriously, it's a nightmare. I still came out with equal custody. I'm not insane. I got a diagnosis of CPTSD and early childhood development disorder. And yeah, by the time I went to that fourth therapist, it was pretty much what did she call it? An untenable situation, which is why she had me committed, because there was actively there was, you know, my stepfather was actively pursuant to his normal routines of pressing my buttons, and I was letting them be pressed. You know, I was not at peace with it, and I reacted reacted to it. And luckily, no one got hurt. Much like a cornered animal that's been injured, you keep poking it with a stick, well, you mess with the bull, you get the horns, you get the idea. How I felt and how I thought. So we are what we think, and that's what I was. And that part is over. So, the community that is banging the drum against Scientology, I'm not sure I have much in common with, because I actually bought into Scientology. I did. Yes, they have effective means of thought reform, and all of that stuff is valid. I'm a big fan of Steve Hassan's work. As another one of my teachers I've never met. Margaret Singer, another one of my teachers I've never met. I've done a lot of fucking research and reading about all of this stuff, and if you didn't catch on, this is a spiritual journey. Well, I mean, when I say spiritual, I mean whatever it is that you consider. Maybe it's not a spiritual journey for everybody, but for me, it is. And I found it really, I've had a lot of time to heal. Maybe, still be healing for the rest of my life. My therapist, as I said, untenable situation. She filed a claim for SSI and disability based on the conditions, physical and mental health. And well, I have not been, I haven't had any income in almost 2.5 years. And the first claim was denied, and so I'm refiling that. But at the same time, I'm filing the SSI, which I am qualified for. I spend a lot of time in physical pain. I have a lot of pain, and it could be neurogenic. It could be something that the doctors missed. A doctor in New Orleans still wants to check some things, but I mean, it's pretty much all that's done. We've ruled out a majority of the major issues that could cause me to die. So I'm just in a lot of pain a lot, and so it seems to be related to nerves. And nerves take about 7 years on average to heal. So I get a lot of pain in my back and my lower extremities, and numbness in the legs, and lack of feeling, and no reflexes, and stuff like that. I'm not really able to do much. I can't go mow the grass. I can't lift heavy things. I'm limited. I don't look it, but if I do certain things, I'm in a lot of pain for several days. Like I'm weed-eated, like maybe a 6 by 6 square foot area, and had to stop because I was in so much pain. 4 to 6 months is what they're saying on the disability and SSI. So still no income, but and I've been reluctant to share with everybody what's going on, because before I left Louisiana, I was being followed still. I was not living in very good conditions. I didn't have a bathroom, I didn't have much food. And you don't have an income. I mean, you may not be homeless, but it feels like it sometimes. I've had some good friends help me out. Some of them I've met here, and I still talk to, keep in touch. Some really good friends. You know who you are, and I love you. I'm glad that I made the videos. I'm glad that I continued to do that. I'm glad I did the interview with Aaron. I literally would not be here in this room, starting a new, beautiful relationship with a beautiful woman, and working towards the more ideal situation where I am very close enough to my kids and far enough away from these really difficult triggers. When I was in Louisiana last, I was able to, and I got triggered really bad, but I was able to get through it without reacting, and responded with love instead of hate. And that was a very difficult thing for me to learn, especially considering the circumstances I was currently or was in for quite a long time. Seems like a long time when you're in it. When you don't have a car and you don't have any money and you don't have a place to stay and you're relying on everybody for everything, it feels like an eternity. But to be working on these things and have a partner in life, like someone who's really there and supportive and understanding. It's not something, I'll be honest, it's not something I'm used to. I'm used to not being enough. I'm used to being told that, right? I was used to buying into that. And my self-concept is very, very, very low. I have friends all over the world. I know a lot of people who love me and like what I do. They'd like to see me do more of it. And I'm not speaking about Scientology videos. However, like I said, I wanted to open this up because I feel I can talk about this now without being very triggered, even if these weirdos start taking pictures and following me around again. They still may be doing that, but where I'm at right now, I've got total surveillance. So I feel pretty comfortable and safe. Also, like I said, I have a lot of support, emotional support, and but that also, that being said, I don't like the idea that I don't have an income and I can't contribute. That's already been in the works, with the disability and the SSI stuff. It's just the waiting, the uncertainty about, okay, are they going to approve this, or are they not? I've had a job, one form or another, since I was 12. I got emancipated at 15. I was living on my own, since then. But I went back and forth into these codependent relationships with my stepfather and Scientology. And both of those had me buying into this idea that I was just, I'm an idiot. I make stupid decisions. I'm not that talented. I should try to find something more sensible that I'm decent at. That's just settling for less is not me, when I say something that I like, when I feel something, in music or even just like in my own thoughts, get a gut feeling, The East say we have two brains, and one's in our head, one's in our stomach. And that's where that gut feeling, I get these gut feelings that are good. I used to suppress these, like, oh, I can't be right because I'm an idiot. So this has been a massive, like, deprogramming, reprogramming process. And so if you're an ex, or if you're just somebody who's interested in this material, this kind of topic, as it pertains to my story, feel free to lob questions at me. I don't feel threatened by these kind of thoughts anymore, and I've been giving a lot of thought and stuff to the what it is I want to say. I still want to write my book, but I'm giving a lot of thought of what I want to say and how I want to say it, because I want to be real careful of what I say and think, because what you think, we are what we think. And so I don't want to like put anything out. I don't want to think anything that is going to